Hey everyone, it's Clay. Welcome to the Nerdsletter for the week ending in the 28th, the Saturday. It's good times, good times. So, I'm going to just be talking about some random stuff today while I go through some trust system dungeons with my, yes, level 80 Gunbreaker. Yes, I've maxed out now a tank. I've got one in every category except here, and this is something I'm working on. If you don't know what trust system is, I'll explain it in a second. I gotta remember where it is. Alright. Slight spoilers for what the trust system is. No, I'm not going to try to do Paglathon. Wait, I can do Animus and Nadir? I think I can do Dolmeg. No, Dolmeg needs 73? Yeah. So I can only do Holminster. Yeah, this will work. So, real quick, for those of you who don't know, in Shadowbringers and continuing in Endwalker, there's a system called the Trust System. And the Trust System, which is this, allows you to run dungeons of that expansion with NPC party members. So you have healers, you have DPSs, you do have tanks, etc. It's real cool. It lets you can do this starting from the very first dungeon, which is Holminster Switch, all the way through all the story dungeons. And then once you've done that and you've beaten the story of Shadowbringers, you have to go back through and re-level them. So that's what I've been doing. Not very much. And yeah. But it basically allows solo players to experience the dungeon without having to wait for queues and things. The NPCs are fairly intelligent most of the time. And they recently made it so that way you only have to run each dungeon twice to level them up for the next one. So, like, when I run this, they're going to get this much XP, which will push them right into 73, and then I can do the next one, which is Dolmeg. So, yeah. You also you get less gear doing this, so, yeah. But yeah, this is going to be this week's Nerdsletter. I felt like doing a video form because I didn't feel like writing. I love the music in here. There we go. Let me make sure. Royal Guard. Oh yeah, and I also have my relic weapon for Gunbreaker. I've started. That's why it's only 485. I just got it. Yeah, the NPCs will follow me. They'll do what they need to do. I actually really like tanking in Final Fantasy, it turns out, so that's fun. Another cool thing is that the NPCs actually make comments. Ah, you pissant little thing. They're also pretty smart. They tend to do mechanics. Alright. Also, Gunbreakers are incredibly DPS heavy for tanks. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to start today by talking about miniature stuff. If you missed it, I have basically decided to move away from 40k for the foreseeable future entirely. I have been seeing a lot of stuff that makes me very iffy about it, I guess you could say. Essentially, I've been seeing a lot of like alt-right stuff and a lot of stuff that makes me gun-shy, as they would say, about supporting that group and the community that's around it. Now, obviously, it's not every piece of the community. Obviously, there are good people in the 40k world. But then you have people like Arch and others, and it just gets really, really, really squidgy. Also, in my own neck of the woods, which, if you don't know, I'm from Florida, and Florida is just as conservative as you think, we have a lot of, alt-right, Trump-supporting kind of people around here, and when I see videos of new players, and those videos pan out, and there's a wall of automatic rifles, not one, like a wall of just AKs and things that, are military-grade weaponry that no person should need, I just kind of go, I don't know if I'd want to be in an area with that person. Now, Instead, I'm going to be focusing my efforts on Kings of War. Yeah. Ooh, Rin got beat up. Wow, Orange, what are you doing? You are standing in the blasts, you goofball. Oh my god. Sometimes the NPCs are kind of dumb. I've never had to use Super Belide, though, so that's fine. So, Kings of War, if you aren't aware, is a mass fantasy regiment-style battle system. Reprisal. And it is by Mantic Games. And I've mentioned it a couple of times. I finally decided on the faction I'm going to play. They are called the Order of the Green Lady. And I hadn't actually mentioned these in anything previous. And that's primarily because I had kind of dismissed them. Now, originally, what happened was I was going to get the Uncharted Empires book, which I have now. It's sitting on my shelf. And I was going to read up on the Herd, the Salamanders, and the Ratkin. But that book also had the Order of the Brother Mark and the Order of the Green Lady, which are these two knight orders. And I'd originally dismissed them because I was like, I'm not sure I really like them. I mean, mounted knights are cool, but, I don't really want to run just mounted knights. Turns out, both of those, as well as the Herd, are what are called theme lists. And a theme list is an army that is half of one existing army and half of a new army. So, for example, Order of the Brother Mark contains 7 whole unique units. That's it, just 7. And those 7 units are unique to Order of the Brother Mark. And then they have a bunch of other units that are unique to Basileia. They share units with Basileia, a faction in the core rulebook. And once I realized that, I was like, alright, well, let's take a look at this. Like, the Herd, for instance, has, I want to say it was like 8 or 9 unique units to the Herd. Might have been closer to 10. And then all of their other units come from forces of nature. So in order to play the Herd, you would need the core rulebook, because you don't have the rules for the other, 11 dudes. So that's kind of where I was looking, and I'm like, alright, so this is what I need to know. So I start looking at Basileia, because I'm curious about Basileia, and I really like the look of the Basileian models. I'm not even going to pretend. They are really cool. Then I started reading up about Basileia's, history, and I realized that they're not quite a faction I'm digging with a lore bent. It's not making me want to write about them. It's not making me want to make creative things, which is important for me, for the record. I want to be creative with this. So I started looking at Order of the Green Lady. And Order of the Green Lady, it turns out, is a faction that is knights and Force of Nature. And if you remember, I like Force of Nature, but not every unit. So I look over what the Force of Nature stuff they get is, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't really have any of the stuff I didn't like in Force of Nature. So that's cool. And I'm reading, and I'm like, alright, and I read the thing. So, let's go over the lore real quick. Originally, the Brotherhoods, both of them, Brother Mark and Force of Nature, were one faction called the Brotherhood. And they were basically this nation of knights who defended the world against the Abyss. And during a war called the God's War, the God of Winter, Goddess of Winter, comically referred to as Winter, basically was defeated, and she sent out this huge curse. So the Salamanders got affected by the curse. And for the Salamanders, the curse, for example, made it to where Winter was basically trying to destroy her. Or Winter was trying to destroy them via a curse in their blood, so their blood would cool off. It basically made them cold-blooded. And this is just the Salamander lore. And in doing this, she was hoping to basically fuck them over. And the salamanders got around it by one of their kind blessing them with hot, like fire blood. So in the salamanders, their blood is constantly fighting between heat and cold. But for the Order, what she did was she just simply ate their... I fucked up my combo. She basically just ate their world. She caused it to flood. And they tried their best to survive the flooding, couldn't really survive the flooding, and eventually... Where's she gonna go? Which side? She picks... Oh, she's going towards Yustola. And, she basically flooded their lands. So they got fucked. What they ended up doing is they started to rebuild. And in rebuilding, what they did was they built basically a list of towers sort of between the Basilean world and theirs to... Sorry, I'm focusing. She's thumb screwing great. And the Abyss. So they have this huge line of, like, watchtowers and things. And the Basileans are fine with this, because the Basileans are like, let those guys fight the demons. I don't want to fight the demons. I might not make it through this. Oh, that was... Whoa. Whew. Oh, I'm just gonna get under her. Ah, I got light-shotted. It's fine. And, yeah. So... that gives us to the second step. Yeah, there's more to this story. So the Basileans are doing their thing, and then apparently the Abyss invades. And when the Abyss invades, they get into a fight, and it nearly kills all of the Brotherhood. The forces of nature help fight the Abyss, as do the Basileans. And it ends up becoming... a sort of protracted war, from my understanding, and then eventually they manage to flood the sort of area where the Abyss are coming from. Because the Abyss are actually, I guess, coming out of a crack in the ground, from my understanding. And they flood it. But in flooding that, they destroy most of their holdings again. So now... the Brotherhood is basically, like, homeless again. And they've gotten their asses beat. So, at this point, Basile, which is not the greatest country, they're good aligned, but they're a country of religious zealots. They believe in these people called the Shining Ones. They make overtures to the Brotherhood saying, yo, we'll help you rebuild, you just gotta, you know, follow us from now on. You gotta be our peeps. Half the Brotherhood go, yes, we will do this. The other half say, no, we should not, because the forces of nature and the Green Lady, this nature deity, are making us overtures to come work alongside them and protect the whole world. And this causes a schism. And this schism leads to the Brother of the Order Mark, or the Order of the Brother Mark, I always forget that, which are the Basilean side, and they are monster hunters, basically. They specialize in monster hunting. And the Order of the Green Lady, which are nature-driven knights, basically. And upon reading all this, I was like, alright, this is really cool, and then I realized that creatively, there's a lot of room to do cool stuff with the Order of the Green Lady. Ooh, fending. That was an amulet, though. It's not going to look anything. Whee! So, in thinking about this, I asked a couple of questions, because, again, I like the Basilean models. And a couple of people say, yeah, you can use Basilean models in Order of the Green Lady, as long as people know what they are. And that led to a thought. What if I created my own sort of enclave or sub-faction for the Order? What if I sat down and came with my own creative sort of take on a group of the Order of the Green Lady. Because if you think about it, knighthood frequently has smaller orders within a larger group, like the Knights Templar, you have the Hospitallers back in the day, you know, all that kind of thing. So what if, you know, the Order of the Green Lady works the same way? There's the Order, which is the huge group of them, and then there's smaller groups within that. And that's what led to a story I've written detailing my personal enclave, the Wardens of the Twilight Grove. And I'm going to link that story in the description box if you want to read it. I haven't written fiction in several years, so don't expect the greatest. But I'm rather proud of it, and people who've read it seem pretty happy. I've got a lot of different ideas for it, but essentially the idea is that there's a druid grove, and that grove has a huge oak tree in it, and that oak tree calls out through a song to people who feel that they no longer have a purpose or they no longer belong where they are. And a lot of Basileans and some Order of the Brother Mark hear that song, and they realize it gets louder the closer they get to the forest. And if they choose to pursue that song, they will eventually find the grove and will basically join in and become, like, you know, I guess you part of the Order. And unlike some parts of the Order, which in the narrative will tame nature, the strongest is the head of the table, as it were. You know, the big guy is the alpha, that kind of behavior when it comes to nature. Because that is a thing in nature. Make no mistake, nature is, you know, survival of the fittest, the strong survive. That is an aspect of it, so the Green Lady is fine with it. These guys and gals live in harmony with nature. They work directly with them. So I've got some characters I've already written up in that story that I'll expand on. I've got a ton of, like, that sort of thing. I really should move that closer here. That way I can see my aggro table better. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm basically going, I've already got a Vanguard force laid out, so I know what I want to start with Vanguard. Vanguard, funnily enough, is still just the Brotherhood, so I don't get any nature-specific things. I just get the Brotherhood, so Knights, Water Elementals, some Clerics, and Paladins. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. So, and if you read it, if you go read it, again, linked in the description box, please let me know what you think of it. It'd be pretty cool. Alright, Tesleen. This one's an easy one. Gotta get Brutal Shell. She's doing the Tickler, which I think is her Tank Buster. Yeah, that was her Tank Buster. Fun fact about tanking is almost every boss has Tank Busters. That's when you use your tanky cooldowns. Some of them have big AoEs, like that one. And then she bounces, so I'm going to be number 4. Okay. She's going to jump between all of us. She goes back. There we go. Yeah, Gunbreakers are a little squishy. Come on, Aranje. She's going to AoE again, buddy. Oh, stack up marker. She's going to just leap right here. Leave a pool of goop, and then I need to get her, like, over here. Ah, is she tank bustering? No, she's jumping again. You need to be away from people when she does this, because she AoE claws. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do some 3D printed models for, like, my druid and stuff. I've got some ideas. I'm really excited about it. And yeah. In other miniature news, I finished my entire combat patrol. I finished my Skull's Bridle camo. I finished my Impulsor this morning before making this video and doing some errands. And, yeah, I am not a fan of how fiddly Games Workshop's stuff is. Like, my god. Oh, Tickler. Okay, Nebula. Like, no, your tank. Like, I built a tank. The tank should not have pieces that are like 2 millimeters tall and 1 millimeter thick. Like, that is absolutely silly, if you ask me. And that is what my tank had. Such tiny, tiny parts. It is absolutely ridiculous what my tank actually had. Get over here. I was not pleased about that with my tank. This is not magic damage, is it? Nah, that's probably physical. Heart of Light's not going to help. That one is magic damage taken. What is she doing? What is she doing over there? Get over here. Stop hurting people. Let's see. Anything else on the miniature front? I need to get the full core rulebook for Kings of War because the Order of the Green Lady does get to use a few fun-looking things. I can use Pegasuses, unicorns, a couple of really cool stuff. So yeah, I'm really, really interested in what I can do with it, especially with Beast of Nature. One of my units I can take from the Forces of Nature list is called a Beast of Nature. It's incredibly vague. It's just Beast of Nature. And the example they usually give is an owlbear. I need to be in that. So obviously, an owlbear is going to happen. I have it in the story. But something that occurred to me that nobody seems to have explored is giant insects. Those are part of nature. Why not have giant scorpions, giant spiders? How about a flying beetle? Hell, I could have a giant ladybug. It's an aphid and it still eats things. So, oh, these poor people. Yep, they got gumped. So, that is something I'm exploring, as well as mounted knights. There is an order of knights in the Forces of Nature called Order of the Forsaken, and they ride flying beasts. And again, it's not defined what the beast is. So I can basically make anything I want. No. As far as a beast is concerned for a mount for these knights. Obviously, the first thought would be like a Pegasus. But if I could find a way to do it, I would do like wasps. Like, imagine guys with lances on the backs of flying wasps. Is that not fucking crazy? It really is. So yeah, that's basically. I'm really excited about it. If you can't tell, I have not been this excited in a while. Oh, there's a treasure back there, and I missed that the last time I was over here. I didn't even notice. Huh? Good to know. Yeah, continuation. Alright, so in video game news, I have decided, and I know I've mentioned like Let's Plays are going to be indie games, I've decided that all Let's Plays need to be games that are 20 hours or less in length, and anything longer than that will be reserved for a review. And I've already laid out a couple of reviews that I'm planning coming up. So I'm going to be doing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous by Owlcat Games, which I consider an indie game. Not everybody would, but I do because it was Kickstarter backed and Owlcat's self-publishing, so that's, as far as I'm concerned, indie enough. And then I'm going to do... It looks like I'm going to do Vagrus the Riven Realms after that. The people at Vagrus, if y'all have not been following me, years ago, like 3-4 years ago, Vagrus was announced. And they contacted me back then when I still did D&D coverage, because I did D&D coverage with a dash of video games, and asked me to stream their prologue, which was not really publicly available. To stream it, kind of build some hype for it, see if I had any feedback on it. And they loved my stream. Unfortunately, that stream no longer exists. It was purged along with a lot of other stuff at the time to try to more centralize my channel. Because, again, back then I still did D&D, and I wasn't really happy with the quality of the stream. So, that no longer exists unless Vagrus has it, which I have no idea if they do. But their release date just got announced, and we got back in contact with each other, because I'm back on Twitter, and they want me to review the game. So I'm going to. When they're going to try to get it to me either day release or a little early, I don't know. That game is going to be a monster. I am not going to try to review the entire thing, because what they've done is they apparently have two parts to it. So there's a prologue, which is the tutorial, and that tutorial is roughly 8 hours long. That is a big tutorial. And then they have what they call the open world section, which is essentially no main narrative. Instead, they have multiple smaller stories, which I don't mind. But I'm not going to try to play the entire thing, because they're touting it as like a 100-hour experience. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm not spending 100 hours with Vagrus. But I will spend some time with it. Get over here. Get over here, you little nerd. So, and after Vagrus, I'm going to do Encased. So, Encased is another CRPG. Low blow. And with Encased, I actually bought Encased in an early access. I was looking for a kind of Fallout-esque turn-based game at the time. And that's what Encased is. It's like a sci-fi Fallout-esque kind of game. And I bought it like a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? Like, it was only in early access for a little bit. Most of the, like, skills were missing. The storyline only went to, like, the first town. It was very short. And I still enjoyed what I played of it. I think I put, like, 15, 20 hours into the early access version with its limited, just re-rolling characters, trying different builds. It comes out on the 7th of September. So, I've got Wrath of the Righteous on the 2nd of September. Then I've got Encased on the 7th of September. And then Vagrus on the 5th of October. So, like, in a month span, 3 massive indie CRPGs are coming out. And I am going to cover them. So, Let's Plays might be a little slow. Ooh, what's that look like? What does this look like? This is an astrologian weapon. Let's look. The heart of the cards, Yugi. The heart of the cards. And, yeah, so that's going to be coming. As far as Let's Plays, I'm probably going to do Arietta of Spirits, which is a Zelda-esque game. Combat is not the big thing of it, so I'm interested in that. That one I'm going to have to pick up, though. It's already out. I just want to do it. It's apparently like 2 to 3 hours long. So when I have time on a weekend, like right now I'm recording because my wife's asleep. But I can't guarantee that, and this is when I would record. So Let's Plays are a little harder to manage. Like, I can ask her to be quiet for like 30, 45 minutes for me to record a review. She understands that. I'm not going to ask her to be quiet for 3 or 4 hours while I mass record Let's Play footage. God, I hate this boss. Whee! He's just annoying. That's really his whole thing. Camo, and I think that's the AoE. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, that was the AoE. I can use Reprisal for that, so. But in video game news, as far as Final Fantasy footage, ow, I should have absorbed that with Heart of Stone. Okay, yeah, just get away from it. That's the get away from marker. You want to be away from your other party members with that. And that is the stay away from him marker. Oh, who's he chaining? Who is he chaining? Who'd he chain? Ah, dang it. So, chain down is a mechanic he does. You gotta knock him out of the chain and then get out of his front arc. Because if you don't, he's gonna eat you. So yeah, anything else? Final Fantasy videos. Yeah. I mean, technically this is a Final Fantasy video. You've now seen almost the entirety, oh god, he's doing right hand, of Holminster Switch. So, yeah. Look at that. You've seen almost the entirety of Holminster. Isn't that great? While I've just babbled about shit that I'm going to cover. It's great. Come on, face this way. Walk over here, big boy. Buddy, you are not going to head crusher me. I am not going to accept that. Screw you. Oh yeah, this. Be away from everybody! Ah! Oh yeah, now we have to line up. That's his lineup marker. You basically just end up tanking him in the middle. I like to get him near an edge, but he just does not want to be cooperative today. Oh boy. Yeah, so Final Fantasy videos, I will get them as I get them. Again, I have a ton recorded. I just have to get voiceover. Are you going to do your bullshit now? Yes, you are. Fierce beating. I hate this. So basically, you have to rotate with him. He attacks both front and rear. You can still attack him, though. See? Basically, if you're doing this on Trust System, just stick with the NPCs. They know what they're doing. If you stay roughly where they are, you will not get hit by any of his attacks because they are actually smart. This is basically training. Because, I mean, I can run this at any point. This, I believe, is magic damage, so Heart of Light. Perfect. And now he's going to Right Fist. I swear, people die to this mechanic so much. Like, he raises his hand, it says what he's doing. I've gotten hit by it, though, so I'm not gonna, you know... Oh, he's chaining down Rin. So I am right next to Rin. This is fine. Because now I have continuation procced. That's the power of the Gunbreaker. Woo! So how are you all doing? If you've watched this video this far, how are you doing? Tell me in the comments how you've been. Have you made any accomplishments? Anything cool? Are you liking my content output? Are you happy with my output? I'm basically going to be doing videos whenever I can, so I can't guarantee when videos are going to come out, unfortunately. For example, those reviews are going to be fucking ridiculous. Also, just for the record, I am not getting a review copy of Wrath of the Righteous. I have to buy it. Owlcat Games was very polite. They actually got back to me, which I'm not used to. I'm used to being ignored by publishers when they decline something, but they were very polite, and they said, unfortunately, I'm simply not large enough to get one. Oh, that's... I'm not going to get back there. That's fine. So, I mean... Whatever, I'm not big enough. They're right, but they were very nice about it, so I don't mind. You know? Continuation. And there we are. And they all hit level 73, which is what I wanted. I automatically get an item in my inventory, and then I get... Ooh, I get a book! What's this look like? I actually do have a scholar, so... Not bad. Not bad. Got a little feather. What's the inside look like? Look at this. Look at this. I'm scolding you. Do your homework. Do your homework, people. Read. Reading is fundamental. Didn't Reading Rainbow teach you anything? I don't know where I was going with that. As always, okay, I think that's covered everything. I went over all the miniature stuff, went over the game stuff, showed you guys a cool dungeon. Let me see, anything else, really? There's going to be more fiction. Follow my blog. Again, link in the description box. You know, check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/terminallynerdy. I'm on Twitter again, twitter.com/termnerdy. The link is in the description box for that. And yeah, be kind to each other, stay nerdy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.